We're diving into the chilling case of Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old Utah man accused of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk with single, precise shot to the neck during a live campus event. Robinson faces charges of aggravated murder, felony discharge of firearm, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and committing a violent crime in the presence of children. Crimes that prosecutors say were meticulously planned over a week, fueled by a twisted sense of righteousness. In this documentary, we'll dissect these atrocities through the lens of psychology and psychoanalysis, uncovering the fractured mind behind the trigger. You know, folks, we picked Tyler Robinson's story for this deep dive because his kill, the way he perched on that rooftop like a shadow in broad daylight, squeezing off one fatal round into a crowd of thousands, screams textbook psychopathy wrapped in ideological fervor. It's not just another shooting. It's a masterclass in how rage festers into ritual. Picture it. September 10th, Utah Valley University, Orem. The sun's dipping low, casting long shadows over 3,000 screaming fans as Charlie Kirk grips the mic, railing against woke America. Up on the rooftop of a nearby building, Robinson steadying his grandfather's bolt-action rifle. DNA on the trigger later seals it, heart-pounding but hands rock solid. He waits, breathes, then boom. 1.308 round rips through the air, punches into Kirk's neck, sprays blood across the stage in a hot arc that soaks his shirt crimson. Kirk gurgles, clutches his throat, eyes bulging in shock as the crowd erupts in chaos. Screams, stampedes, kids trampled in the dirt. Robinson doesn't flinch. He slings a rifle, drops to the alley below, vanishes into the dusk like smoke. No spree, no frenzy, just cold, surgical hate. And that's the hook. One body. But the psychological layers? They're a nightmare rabbit hole. Now lean in close, because we're peeling back the skull on this kid, Tyler James Robinson, the squeaky clean boy from suburban St. George who turned monster. From Freud's couch to modern brain scans, we'll trace how a straight-A Mormon kid snapped, his psyche splintering like that bullet through flesh. Feel that chill creeping up your spine? Good. Hold on to it, because by the end, you'll see the monster in the mirror of your own mind. Let's start at the cradle, where the seeds of madness often sprout unseen. Tyler grew up in a picture-perfect LDS family. Mom a doting homemaker posting ACT scores like trophies. Dad a steady provider and some mid-level tech gig down in Washington County. Siblings? 2 younger ones, all packed into a split-level house with Sunday potlucks and family game nights that screamed Americana. But here's the psychoanalytic kicker. Those idyllic setups? They can be pressure cookers for repressed rage. Freud called it the superego gone rogue, the iron-fisted moral code of a strict religious upbringing clashing with the ID's wild urges. Tyler was baptized young into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, immersed in doctrines of purity, obedience, and eternal families. Imagine a boy, wide-eyed at 8, pledging his soul to a faith that damns doubt as devilry. No room for questions, no space for the messy hormones of puberty. Psych studies on religious fundamentalism show it wires the brain for black and white thinking. Dopamine hits for righteous acts. Cortisol spikes for any deviation. Tyler's early years? Spotless on paper. Eagle Scout whispers, high school valedictorian buzz. But dig into the family dynamics, and cracks show. Mom's Facebook gushes pride, but neighbors later whisper to cops about Dad's old-school discipline. Belts for backtalk, sermons for slip-ups. That's classic attachment theory at play. John Bowlby stuff on insecure bonds. If Dad's love feels conditional, tied to perfection, a kid learns to bury emotions deep, building a false self to survive. Tyler's? A polite ghost, smiling through the strain. Fast forward to teens, and the fractures widen. High school at Desert Hills. Tyler aced AP classes, racked college credits at Utah Tech while still in uniform. Outwardly, the golden boy. Debate club star, volunteering at food banks, that shy grin in yearbook pics. But peel it back and isolation creeps in. No big friend circle, just Discord chats and late-night scrolls. Psychoanalytically, this screams schizoid tendencies, early detachment, a psyche retreating inward like a turtle shell. Reports from old classmates, leaked in the post-arrest media frenzy, paint him as weirdly intense. The guy who'd zone out mid-convo, eyes glazing like he was plotting orbits. And get this, around 16, he starts dipping into online rabbit holes, Reddit threads on social justice, Tumblr rants against toxic masculinity. Why? Enter cognitive dissonance, that mental itch when beliefs collide. LDS teachings hammer traditional gender roles, no gay marriage, no trans rights, while Tyler's world cracks open to queer stories, climate rage, inequality feeds. The brain hates imbalance. It rewires or it breaks. Tyler's? It radicalized fast. Per Utah Gov Spencer Cox's offhand, deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology, quip. But it's deeper. Emerging adulthood, Erik Erikson's stage of identity versus role confusion. At 18 to 22, you're forging who you are. Tyler's pivot to pro-LGBTQ stances? Not rebellion for fun. It's a desperate grasp for authenticity in a soul starred by dogma. College hits like a freight train. One semester at Utah State in 2021. Flops out, ghost classes. Why bail? Psych evals post-arrest flag, undiagnosed depression. Maybe ADHD masking as laziness. Then Dixie Technical College, electrical apprenticeship, hands-on, no lectures, fitting for a kinesthetic mind fleeing abstract BS. Job-wise, entry-level wiring gigs, clocking in at a local contractor, pulling 40-hour weeks fixing suburban lights, while his brain buzzed with bigger storms. But here's the gut punch, his romantic life. Tyler's partner, described in court docs as a biological male transitioning genders, was his roommate, confidant, the one he texted mid-manhunt. I had enough of his hatred. That's the anchor. In a conservative Utah bubble, loving across lines, it's electric fence territory. Psychoanalysis sees this as projection. Tyler's own internalized homophobia flipped outward, fueling fury at figures like Kirk, who spewed anti-trans venom on podcasts. Studies in Journal of Abnormal Psychology link such suppressed identities to explosive aggression. The ID screams what the ego chokes down. Now, the meat, the slide to slaughter. Why murder? Not impulse. Premeditated poison. Robinson stalked Kirk's tour for days, per FBI timelines, bookmarked the UView event, scouted the rooftop 4 hours early. Surveillance grainy but damning. Him in a hoodie, slipping past security like a specter. Motive? Ideological venom. Sure, text his partner rant. Kirk spreads too much hate. There's too much evil. But psychologically, it's moral disengagement, Albert Bandura's theory. Twisting ethics to justify horror. Kirk wasn't just a pundit. To Tyler, he embodied the evil choking his world. Anti-LGBTQ fire, abortion bans, Trump worship. Cognitive behavioral lens. Distorted schemas from online echo chambers amplify perceived threats. Tyler's brain, flooded with cortisol from chronic stress, latched onto Kirk as the dragon to slay. Psychoanalytically, it's the Oedipal echo, defying the patriarchal father to claim his own castrated power. And the partner? Catalyst. Their texts seized by feds ooze desperation. Tyler venting Kirk clips, partner replying, end it. Not literally, but enough to normalize the abyss. Radicalization 101. Isolated youth plus affirming echo equals tipping point. Why not protest? Because passive rage festers. Active catharsis demands blood. Neuroimaging on killers shows prefrontal cortex atrophy. Tyler's likely had it. Impulse control frayed like old wire. Victim choice? Laser focus, and that's the terror. Not random. Symbolic. Charlie Kirk, 31. Turning Point USA co-founder, blonde, brash, the voice of MAGA youth. To Tyler, he wasn't human. He was a hydra head of oppression, spewing hatred against trans folks, gays, immigrants. Selection bias in psych terms. Confirmation bias on steroids. Tyler fixated via algorithms, YouTube ads, Twitter threads painting Kirk as public enemy number one. Eyewitnesses from the event quoted in NBC affidavits recall the crowd's electric vibe. Kirk was mid-rant on groomers in schools when crack. Blood everywhere. A student survivor, 19-year-old Mia Lopez, told CNN, trembling, I saw his eyes lock on the stage, like a predator scenting meat. Then the shot. Kirk's mouth opened in a silent scream, arterial spray hitting the front row. Kids, actual children in the audience, screaming, slipping in the puddle. Why Kirk? Displacement. Tyler's personal hell projected onto a safe target. Safer than shooting dad, see? Freud's displacement mechanism. Redirect fury from intimate threats to distant demons. And the politics? Leftists lean his shield. I'm purging evil, he scrawls in that roommate note, found under the keyboard like a suicide pact. Prosecutors read it in court. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Chilling, right? Your pulse quickening yet? Imagine you're in that crowd, heart slamming as the mic feedback wails. Kirk crumpling, his widow Erica later sobbing on Fox. He was our light. Now it's just red. The method, oh, God, the method. That's where the psych horror peaks. Sniper precision, no mess, pure control. Robinson gifts from Grandpa, that bolt-action rifle, engraved casings with phrases like end the hate. He climbs the roof undetected. Why? Audacity of the detached. Schizotypal traits, maybe delusions of grandeur, believing he's untouchable, a vigilante ghost. The kill, one shot, 200 yards, neck entry. Ballistics report, leaked to Walpole. Bullet severs carotid, exits jaw in a bone shatter spray. Kirk drowning in his own blood on stage, twitching as medics swarm. No chase, no taunts, just drop, ditch the scene. Post-kill high? Text a partner. It's done. Look under the keyboard. Then the cover, urging deletes witness tampers via Discord jokes. My doppelganger did it, LOL. That's narcissistic injury at bay. Post-act, the ego inflates, but cracks show in the panic. Witnesses from Discord chats, subpoenaed by FBI, told Senate hearings. Tyler messaged right after, it was me at UVU yesterday. We thought prank. Till the news hit. A roommate, anonymous in BBC files, whispered to cops. He came home sweating, eyes wild, muttering, evil's less now. Smelled like gun oil. The violence? Surgical. But the implications barbaric, ripping life in public. Kids watching dad figure bleed out. Psychologically, it's power assertion, Edmund Kemper style. Control via distance, God complex without the gore of up-close stabs. But feel the anxiety? That rooftop perch, wind whipping, crowd roar below. Tyler's breath steady, finger itching, the world narrow in the crosshairs on a throat pulsing with lies. Boom. Silence. Run. And the aftermath? A manhunt that grips the nation. 33 hours of Tyler ghosting through Utah Badlands, hiding in motels. Discord taunts flying. Cops swarm his St. George pad. FBI Director Kash Patel testifying in Congress. We traced pings to his burner phone, but it was family that broke him. Yeah, the confession cascade. First, text a partner mid-hunt. I did it for us. His hate ends here. Partner freaks, alerts a friend. Chain hits Tyler's dad. Old man Robinson, per affidavits, gets the call. Son sobbing, Dad, I shot him. Too much evil. Persuaded by a family pal, Tyler surrenders at Washington County Sheriff's. Hands up, no fight, just hollow eyes. Busted. DNA on trigger. Casings etched with manifestos. Deleted text recovered. Courtroom drama? Virtual feed, September 16th. Tyler in orange, anti-suicide vest chafing. Emotionless as Judge Tony Graff lists charges. Aggravated murder. Death penalty sought. He mutters name only. Stare dead fish blank. Witnesses pack the gallery. 2 UVU survivors. Faces scarred by PTSD. Glaring daggers. Erica Kirk's protective order seals it. No contact, ever. Prosecutors push death, lethal injection, maybe in Utah's Chamber of Horrors. But philosophically, let's twist the knife existential. Sartre said hell is other people. For Tyler, it was his endgame, a absurd rebellion against the bad faith of his upbringing, living inauthentically till the gun forced truth. Nietzsche's abyss stares back, but Tyler jumped in, becoming the monster he slew. Was it free will or wiring? Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus with a scope, pushing that boulder of hate uphill, only to tumble into cuffs. In the void of his cell, does he ponder the echo? The shot that silenced one voice birthed 1,000 more riots, manifestos, copycats lurking. Society exhales, but the psyche, it whispers. Any of us, cracked just right, could perch on that roof. Sleep tight, folks. The dark's got eyes.